Hello and welcome. Today's quest will be to retrieve the golden claw from Bleak Falls barrows highlighted here. The quest can be obtained from the Riverwood Inn, which I'll be highlighting on the map now. That's the local map. The Riverwood Trader is where we're going. The quest is obtained here from Looking Valerius. This is just some of the build-up text leading up to the quest. It's Looking and Camilla just discussing the break-in they had last night when the golden claw was stolen. To initiate the quest, we go up to speak to Looking and ask if anything's happened. And this is where we find out that his golden claw's been stolen, so we're going to offer to take it, help him get it back. This is where he explains to us that we need to go to Bleak Falls Barrow, which is in the northeast, northeast of the town. Obviously Camilla couldn't resist showing us out. I'll resume the video just outside the inn on the edge of the village. Again, we're in Riverwood and we're retrieving the quest from the Riverwood Trader. So we're just at the edge of the village now, on our way to Bleak Falls Barrow, shown on the map. Just follow the path straight out of the village. I've sped up this little section of video to try and ease your suffering. Don't want you falling asleep halfway through the quest. Just collecting some reagents on the way. That's our follower Fiendal. Obviously when we come across a crab, we have to fight to the death. Mud crabs can never be trusted. They can never turn down a fight either. Once this epic battle comes to an end, thanks to my trusty follower Fiendal taking him out with an arrow. Sorry, this is just a shot of me trying to pot up after getting my ass kicked. We'll resume the quest. Just collecting some more reagents on the way. Enjoying the scenery. Personally, I would recommend, well, fast forward in this part. If you're only here to see the main points of the quest, constant walking might be a bit boring. I apologise about the editing. This is my first video, so I wasn't on point with the speeding up and slowing down. I'd already recorded the audio tracks by this point, so I'm afraid you're just going to have to sit through it. Hopefully in the next video I'll be able to speed up the walking sections a little bit for y'all, so you don't have to sit through them as much. Oh, here we go. We've encountered another wild animal. This one's pretty easily dispatched, now that we've picked up a two-handed mace. And a sneaky follower in the bushes, obviously. On a side note, if you take Fiendal as a follower, you can get me train you in archery, and then take the gold back from him as a follower. The gold will be stored as an inventory. In his inventory, sorry. So once he's your follower, you just access his inventory, take the gold back, and then get the free 5 points in archery, which is actually quite valuable early on in the game. Here we're just following the path, nothing too difficult. Enjoying the nice winter landscape. I don't know if you can see in the quality of this video. Again, I apologise, it is the first video I've recorded from a game and uploaded to YouTube, so I'm not sure if you guys can see it very well in this. But there is an enemy coming up who I try to snipe with an arrow from distance. Sorry, this is such a faff. Apparently I'm enjoying fronting about my inventory. But there is an enemy here. I apologise for the bloody quality so you can't see him. However, I tried to aim just above him to get a little sneaky arrow from really far away, hoping to sneak some damage in before they realise I'm there. However, I think with this one I missed my first shot, which attracted their attention. However, I did hit with the second one. I think, you know, in Playthrough, you can play it however you wish, but I do enjoy like a couple of sneaky arrows from distance if I can get them. I've never played as a melee character in this game before, so I'm just doing my best to like sidestep all the arrows and jump to the side. Not sure if it's a valid technique, but at least it's fun. That's me just looting all the steel arrows. Another side tip: if any arrows you give your follower, if you give them one, they'll never run out, so they'll continually shoot whichever arrow you give them. So I tend to give them the highest quality arrow that I possess, and then any arrows that they miss you can loot. This is just me getting rid of some of my rubbish as far as I can tell. There we go. Just giving all the crap time. Oh, my character's called Drogo, if you didn't notice. Little Game of Thrones reference there, or Song of Ice and Fire if you prefer. I went with an Orc Warrior. I thought Drogo was quite a fitting name. Plus I was struggling to think of something. Here we are, we're just exploring. Actually, there's going to be a higher level enemy at the top of this tower, so I'm just setting up my binds for my Sky UI first, and then we're going to equip our, I believe, shield. Just to like, just because we're expecting a wee bit of a tougher fight here, so I want to be able to soak up as much damage as I can. However, the bandit does go down pretty easily. This is my first time playing on this difficulty as well, so I was expecting a little bit more of a challenge. Apologies for the audio not lining up with the webcam image in the bottom right there. This is a game I streamed on Twitch, however I have removed the audio and re-recorded it myself. I didn't think people would want to listen to me chatting to my Twitch followers. Generally we're just talking about the game and races we enjoy and things like that. Which quests we prefer to do and stuff. Here I think I'm just sorting out my game settings. This was my first Twitch stream as well, so there is a lot of delay in the video when I'm just like trying to fix my game settings or my Twitch settings or something like that, trying to improve the stream for everyone. So I'm not playing the game as well as I should be. My attention isn't fully occupied on the game. Here I'm just explaining one of the tricks I like to use when I'm playing well, I wouldn't call it a trick, but when I'm playing the melee characters who use stamina. The stamina power attacks take up a flat amount of stamina regardless of how much stamina you currently have. So regardless of how much stamina you have, whether it be 1 or 20, a power attack would, for instance, take either the full 20 or the full 1 regardless. So if your power attack was, for instance, to take 20 energy, sorry, I don't know if I'm using right, 20 stamina, sorry, then at 20 stamina it would use the full 20 stamina, at 1 stamina it would use the full 1 stamina. So using cooking, you can craft items that increase your stamina regen enough that so you've always got 1 stamina, which means you can perpetually use a power attack at 1 stamina without ever regening past it. It's just something I like to use just to, I guess, make the game easier. Might be slightly frowned upon, maybe cheapening the experience, not having to conserve your stamina as much, because you know you'll always regenerate that 1 just enough to do a power attack, but without it I feel like the game isn't really that fun to play, especially as a melee character. You want to be one of those characters with a two-handed mace that just crushes everyone. Here we are, we're just following the path, going up the stairs. I know there's enemies around here, so I'm just trying to do my best to spot them. I think I've been spotted, but I don't know who's seen me, so trying to get a couple arrows in before I run back. just kiting them out. Obviously not landing a single arrow. There's my follower absolutely destroying these guys. The follower is unexpectedly strong. I've never really used Volatile before this playthrough, but he was surprisingly strong versus almost everyone I've come up against so far. Doing a lot of damage, especially considering he's an archer and he tends to avoid engaging in close combat. I'm not sure how he's going to progress as the game goes on, but at the moment he seems very good. Just cleaning out all these bandits. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this playthrough. I might stick to two-handed. I was originally going to go with the shield, as I've never played through as a melee character, so I was thinking going a super tank would be really interesting, but after playing it I think I've decided that using a two-hander just seems like far too much fun to pass it up. Standing behind your shield just holding in your block button doesn't seem quite as much fun as smashing everyone in the head with a giant mace, especially as an orc. You want to be that giant orc with tons of armour and just swinging a mace of death everywhere. Definitely seems like the playstyle I'll be using for this game mode. Hopefully I'll make a playthrough for all the main quests. Yeah, it could be seen as a guide, but I wouldn't say any of the quests were much of a challenge to complete, so I'd say it more as a playthrough, but hopefully people tune in and enjoy, as well as maybe learn something. Or for people that haven't played the game yet, maybe they just want to see some of the quests or how the game progresses. If you'd like to see the original video with all the Twitch commentary, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I've got no problem uploading the original video either. I just didn't think anyone would be interested in seeing it, as it was just me engaging with someone on Twitch about the game. Here we are, we've just entered Bleak's barrow. There's nothing too crazy except a bunch of dead rats and apparently someone who the rats mauled. There's a couple of bandits up ahead, so as usual I'm trying to get a couple arrows into them if I can, reduce their health before I engage in melee combat. Then we go for the old two-handed mace. That's me doing my best again to jump out of the way of the arrows. Not sure if that actually works, but I'm trying. I don't know if anyone's interested, but myself I prefer to use the Sky UI mod. As far as I'm aware, everyone that plays the game uses it. Seems to be, without it the game just isn't as much fun to play. Sky UI takes a lot of the clunkiness out of the interface, especially with equipping different weapons. It lets you bind buttons to keys so you can quickly switch between your bow, your mace, your sword, even binding potions or spells. And without it, it seems really clunky that you have to constantly click and then go into your menu, select something, come back out and then use it and then go back in. Personally I feel Sky UI just adds a lot of immersion and just makes the game a lot better. I'd highly recommend it. I don't know if anyone here or any of the prospective viewers are going to mod their game, but Nexus Mod Manager is a really handy tool to help you mod your game as well. Usually you just click on the web link, it would download the mod and it basically auto installs it for you without you having to do anything. Obviously I'm not a very heavy modder, my game is mostly standard. I think I've got Sky UI installed, a texture pack and some immersive armor mods. Those ones are also very, very well done. A lot of the immersive armors are actually amazing. The textures seem like they were done by professionals. They blend really well with the game and adds a lot of really cool items. So that's the only mods I use. I think I've got a CBBE mod, so I think that's, if I remember right, Clandestine Beautiful Body mod I think it's called. So that just updates the body textures as well. So again, just a couple of texture mods. The only ones I use to affect gameplay would be Sky UI, which I feel is a must. Without it, I just feel the game's too clunky and it loses a lot of its kind of enjoyment. Also, as you can see for the columns, it lets you sort items by type, weight, value, stuff like that. So I find it really handy for sort of selling items, deciding which items to keep and get rid of. But mostly the quick equip menu. You can also set groups. So if you wanted to have like an archery set with all your archery enchants, maybe a lockpicking set, or a merchant set where you would have better prices and more carrying capacity, you could buy item sets that way as well. I know it sounds like I'm plugging the mod, but you'll find it really helps your gameplay. Well, it just makes it more fun and sort of easier and interesting. Obviously we've seen a wee bandit there, which I had to get a wee sneak arrow in, as same as always. However, this time I'm getting absolutely crushed. That's just me potting up with my potion and using the food, which gives me the 1 stamina regen. As you can see, the stamina builds up one at a time, enabling me to do a power attack. Obviously without my follower I'm not up to much, so I'm doing my best to kite back. Hopefully he'll attack Faendal while I'm regenerating, and then I can swing a couple of attacks at him. Very sloppily done, but we get there in the end. Generally the Bleak barrow, there's nothing too complicated about it. We're just following the path at the moment. This is the quick menu here. This is where you press Q and you can toggle your favourite items. You can just see that in the bottom left. This is the main menu, and that's the quick menu there, so it's a lot easier to navigate by sort of items, potion, spells. I would definitely recommend getting a follower on harder difficulties, but finding one that complements your playstyle can be a bit annoying. Sometimes if you're playing like a sneak class, like a rogue or a mage, excuse me one second, there's a slight puzzle here. So we just look at the wall in front of us and then match the symbols up accordingly. So here we've got snake on the, so we've got a dolphin on the wall, snake on the wall, and then there's another one that's fallen down on the floor. So we just copy the symbols over to the pillars on the left, and that's us. Easily done. Reading the book will increase our pickpocketing skill, which is always a valuable thing to do, sorry. Just checking for any loot. Berry ones, almost always gold in them, so I like to have a little look. My inventory was getting quite full, so I'm just trying to check on the weight of items and see what I'm carrying and stuff. Just because I know heavy armour tends to take up a lot of inventory slots but not offer very much in resale value, so I'll try to pin them when I can. I know there's going to be a couple of enemies down at the bottom of the stairwell, so I'm just setting up for it with my bow, seeing if I can catch any of them. Obviously I'm being very cautious for a rat, which in hindsight seems a little bit excessive. There we are. On this difficulty apparently even skeevers take a couple of hits to kill with a two-hander. I'll link the difficulty in this description because I can't actually remember what it is at the moment. I think it was my first time playing Adept, I'm not sure. The second highest difficulty. Forgive me for not remembering the name. I'll try and look up for next time. As I said, this is the first video I've ever recorded and done a voiceover for, so if there's anything you feel that's glaringly obviously wrong with it, please feel free to comment and give me some hints and tips. Or if there's anything else you'd rather I spoke about, like specifically more about the game or the quest or something like that, feel free to say. Here I know there's actually a really hard fight coming up, so I'm just checking my inventory, seeing what I've picked up, if there's any potions I can use or what scrolls I've got. So you always want to plan ahead. So here we are, we know there's a, well, I personally know there's an enemy up ahead, so I'm just sorting myself out and getting ready for it. There's a wee web here, so what you want to do is just equip your weapon to cut through it. apparently I can't even hit it. So you'll actually want to make contact if you're trying to break through. We're just crouching down, make sure there's nothing in here. Uh-oh! Yeah, I should have said if you're arachnophobic you might want to turn away. This enemy is actually pretty difficult, so I'm trying to just do a little bit of damage with bows while sneaking around the corner. I can see that it's attacking my follower, so I'll try to take up my two-handed weapon and run out and do as much damage as I can. I've got my food ticking, so I know I've got my stamina regen, which means I can at least do two-handed attacks. I've equipped my poison, just to do some poison damage. Now here you could use your scroll that you just picked up in the last room. The fire damage scroll actually would do a lot of damage to the spider, but I didn't feel like I was ever really in trouble. So I just wanted to run in and beat it with a hammer. Here we're just checking all the uns, make sure we get all the loot. We can hear Arvo the Swift. Oh, there we go, as the name would suggest. Calling for our help, so we're going to go and help him. But, as you probably guessed, we're not going to let him get away. A couple of swift mace blows to the face will get rid of him. If you've played through the game before, you'll know he's actually planning on double crossing us. So what we did was double crossed him first, basically. He was going to try and take the golden claw for himself and run on to the treasure without us. So we're not going to fall for it this time. This is me just checking out the inventory. The journal that I've just picked up from him should be in there. If you can read it, feel free. As you can see, the hint to opening the door, where it says when you have the golden claw the solution is in the palm of your hand. In the palm of the golden claw there's a combination. We'll use this combination a little bit later on. I'll show you once we get to the door. Here we're just clearing the room, obviously, as you do with all RPGs. Check every single jar, whether you're Zelda, whether you're Link or the Dragon Ball. All jars must be approached. This is me just trying to decide whether or not I'm scaling up. I believe on stream I was just speaking to the couple of viewers that I had, whether or not I'd go down the route of a full block orc warrior or using my two-handed mace to crush everyone, but I decided I was having too much fun and I was going to go with two-handed. I'm not quite sure what the pause is here. I believe I was just speaking again. Sorry about the delay here. A very poorly crafted video, but in future I've learned how to speed up and slow down certain sections and edit and remove others, so hopefully in future this problem will be resolved. However, at the time of recording I'd already I don't know if sank's the right term, I'd already put all the music to the video, so speeding up or slowing it down would then mess up the timing for every single piece of music that I'd chosen for the video, and it would have took too long to redo it all. So for the next video these kind of problems won't be an issue. However, for this one I'd ask that you just stick with it now. As we can see, there's a couple of joggers sleeping, I don't know if that's the right word. So we want to hit them with an arrow just to get them to take a little bit of damage before we engage. However, unexpectedly Faendal is making short work of almost everyone in this Bleak Falls barrow, so no one's really causing us too much trouble. Again, we just start with the arrows. We're not really going for a sneaky class this playthrough, so I'm not too worried about sneaking up on them and doing any damage or anything like that. I'm going full heavy armour, so I kind of want to get in the thick of it a little bit. That's me just using my block to break his stance and then smash him with the mace. Obviously, without Faendal I'd be pretty much dead every single fight. So personally I find that bringing a follower always helps. If you're a melee champ, you can, or melee hero, whatever you prefer, you could always bring like almost any kind of follower would be handy. A range type to do plenty of range damage while you're in the thick of it in melee. Another tank follower, so they can soak up all the damage while you smash everyone. A mage follower would be fine. They would be pumping out loads of magic damage, while again you're tanking in the thick of it. So almost every follower would benefit the sort of orc that I'm choosing to play. However, I find when you play sort of sneak based champs or roguish type champs, almost all followers end up drawing attention and kind of ruining your sneak ability. Here, actually no, there's a very hard enemy up ahead. I don't know if you can make it in the video, but just on that bottom ledge there, I know there's a very strong Draugr, so I'm trying to equip a poison just so I can do as much damage as I can. We see that even with the poison and the 2x sneak damage, it takes almost no damage. So I'm just trying to pump out as much damage as I can with the arrows, and then I see the trap on the floor. I try and line up so as he's charging me, he hits the trap. Luckily he falls straight into it, and as you can see, gets sent flying. It's always a happy moment when you realise you don't have to fight one of the hard enemies, because one of the traps included in the game has just benefited you rather than being a hindrance. Obviously you want to avoid that yourself after you've killed the Draugr with it. I also know there's a couple of enemies up ahead that are asleep, I guess you would say. I don't know the term for it. A couple of snow white Draugr waiting for the first kiss of your ball. So there we go, we know there's one on the right, so I'll just try and do a little bit of damage to him. Maybe I said Snow White and I meant Sleeping Beauty. Obviously I'm not clued up on my Disney or folktales. I just looted the axe actually. I just wanted to try it out, see if I could decide whether I liked the mace or the Ancient Nordic axe, I believe it's called. Ancient Nordic. Ancient... Either way, I was just trying out the axe for this little section of the barrow. I know the swing speed was a little bit lower, so I was just experimenting with different weapons, seeing whether I wanted higher damage, lower speed, but I generally find with the two handles I don't really notice too much of a difference unless it's the swords, which seem to be a lot lighter, and the maces which seem to be a lot heavier, but I don't really notice much of a difference between the mace and the axe. I feel like it doesn't really benefit you in terms of swing speed, allowing you to parry more, or I'm not really sure I see any benefit, so I tend to just go with the highest damage I can get, which tends to be the mace, plus it looks the coolest. Who wouldn't want to be a mace wielding orc? Here I'm just sorting out my inventory, trying to get rid of any items that I don't want, hopefully increasing the combat stats of Feindal by giving him all the items I don't need that will hopefully benefit his character. Oh sorry, this was me showing my character to my streamers. They were asking about my race and which character model I'd chosen. I was saying I felt like Drogo seemed like a fitting name for an orc, so I was showing them the character model there. Here there's just a few spinning blades, nothing too difficult. However, I'm pretty sure I make a mess of it. You can, on sneak champs, you can just speed roll through them. No, obviously not at this stage of the game. I don't think you'd have the talents for it, but later on in the game you can just either sprint through them or speed roll through them. Well, you can. I think I can sprint through them at this stage, but I like to try and stutter step. Here we know there's a Draugr in the alcove, so we're just trying to do as much damage as I can before he comes up to us. Then he takes another arrow, and then easy money. In this playthrough I'm probably going to be trying to level up my professions quite heavily, so I'm trying to loot everything I can, even if the bone dust helps me scale up my alchemy. I'm feeling, if I'm an orc, I'm probably going to be wanting to get my blacksmith up pretty early, so if I level up my alchemy it will hopefully allow me to create potions that will improve my other professions as well. As you can see, there's another alcove with a Draugr in it here, so we're just setting up same as always. in this circumstance, I was mistaken and thought that shooting the wall with an arrow would wake it up. However, you have to physically hit it with the arrow and do damage. I also tried to set up a trap here that failed miserably. I tried to bait him in and waited too long and completely missed. However, my trusty follower was there again to take care of things for me. Another Draugr, which apparently I didn't notice. Didn't have time to sneak up on this one, so it's full two-handed axe straight in this one. Oh, always seems so cruel to take out a kneeling opponent. Sorry again for the delay. Hopefully in the next video there'll be no issues with this. I'll do all my editing before I add any audio tracks, and hopefully that will mean that I can speed up any sections of the video that I feel wouldn't be interesting for potential viewers. Again, please let me know if you feel like watching the Twitch stream directly uploaded to YouTube would be something anyone would want to see. I'd gladly upload them if I felt the content was worth people's time. In this section there's a Draugr obviously just coming out of that coffin. Oh, I love the animations for the two-handed kill blows. However, for that section there was a Draugr in that coffin there, so if you're a sneaking character or anything, you can actually sneak into the room and shoot him before he even notices you're there, so feel free to get some free damage down. Just clearing the room, same as always, nothing too special. Apologies for the delay again. Feel free to enjoy the scenery. We've got a lovely, what would we call that? A river passing under a iron gate, which is obviously a beautiful sight in a body underground cave. Everyone wants to see that. Here we're lovely stream again. Just looting the glowing mushrooms. There's going to be a few in here. I believe there's a couple of veins up ahead as well. Obviously, if I'm going to be leveling my blacksmithing in this playthrough, I want to be mining all the ore I can. Tends to be once you get to later levels, none of this stuff's relevant at all, but early stages I want to try and gather as much resources as I can for all the professions. Oh, there we go, a lovely waterfall again. Here we know there's going to be an enemy up ahead, so I'm seeing if I can, well obviously I'm going to get the loot first. Seeing if I can sneak out onto the ledge, maybe get a little bit of damage in with the arrow first. Considering I wanted to play a two-handed kind of in-your-face warrior champ, I seem to be doing a lot of sneaking up and trying to get the first arrow hitting. I know that the enemy's seen me, so I'm trying to wait for him to come up so I can hit him with a few arrows, but it doesn't look like the pathing's going to take him around here, so I move ahead. This is where the Sky UI comes in, where I'm quick binding the bow, so when I ever use my numbered keybind, I've forgotten what I've used for this video. Whenever I use my numbered keybind I can just equip the axe, or the bow, or whatever. So it's just changed my binds there. Whenever you receive an item you just want to change your binds, just to get the new more powerful item in the right slot. As you can see, I'm just comparing weapons between the sword, the axe and the mace, seeing which one I prefer with the swing speed. I rather think the damage outweighs the penalty that you take in the slow swing speed. Personally I feel like just hitting hard and doing loads of damage is the playstyle I prefer, but feel free to give any tips or advice or anything like that on my playthrough. I'd be more than happy to listen to any feedback, or if anyone's got any cool builds that they want to try or anything like that, feel free to tell me about them and I'll see if I can do it. I'm more than likely going to go a very tanky two-handed weapon wielding orc, and I've got the ratio that means I take almost no damage and do double damage, take 50% less, do 50% more, so 1.5 times normal damage. So feel free to give me any cool ideas for the build or anything you feel like I should level up or anything that would help. I don't really intend on using any magic on this champ, maybe just healing. But if there's some sort of cool unique build or anything like that you think would be fun to play, feel free to mention it in the comments. Or if there's anything that would benefit me that character that I don't know about, feel free to mention that as well. So if there's like a specific enchant or something like that that's really good, if you're using two-handed weapons or heavy armour or something like that, feel free to enlighten me. Here I know the next struggle coming up is actually quite strong, so I think I'm just enchanting a wee bit of poison so I can add a little bit extra damage at the start. As we can see, he's sneaking about, so give him a couple arrows, and that did almost no damage again. I'm starting to think this sneaky arrow business might not be the way. As you can see, he's doing a lot of damage. My follow's already getting knocked off his feet with that power attack. That's me trying to... There we go, just oh, I love the animations. Just trying to knock the Draugr off balance there with my block swing. I don't actually know what the combo would be called. Obviously there's a chest coming up, so we're going to be looting that. I've seen a few guides on lockpicking. I've heard that you can hear when the click is, but personally I like to just give it a little wiggle and then see how we do from there. I've never found the lockpicking to be particularly challenging, but it's just one of those things that come with practice, I guess. And a steady hand. As you can see, I'm a very interesting character when I'm on Twitch, standing there stroking my face with a save screen. I think one of my real life friends had come onto the stream here, so I was chatting to him and another one of my viewers, so we're just discussing, I think we were talking about our plans for earlier on that day, so obviously I wasn't fully engaged in the game, so apologies for the delay. Here we are, nothing too difficult, just following the path, enjoying the view. Hopefully in future I'll be able to get a better PC. You'll be able to hopefully get some very nice texture packs on the go. I think my settings at the moment don't look too bad, but I'm not sure how it's going to show up in the video. There's a lot of Draugr in this next room, so if you can, I'd advise sneaking through these just to keep yourself in stealth for the next part. As you can see, I know there's a lot of enemies coming up, so I've got my bow ready to do a little bit of damage. I tried to take them one at a time, failed miserably again. Normally I would suggest sneaking through this bit rather than waiting until you get through discovered and then sneaking. Nothing too difficult here. Couple arrows, he's down. You can see from the hanging pots up above, I'm not sure what they'd be called. They are full of, they're above, sorry, oil, so all you have to do is shoot them down on top of any Draugr that you draw attention to. Easily taken out with a trap. Just don't forget to loot the room here. Nothing too crazy, but you're always better picking up something you might need later on. I think I'm getting ready to set up the trap, but if I remember correctly, I end up failing miserably again. I don't get aggro, so I think I just attack them where they are. Here we go, the Dance of Death. Obviously very exciting. Nope. Not even close again. It doesn't seem like I'm having very much luck with these traps. I think I might have to just resort to running in their face. Luckily this game doesn't require a very high skill level, or I'd be struggling. Steps, at least I can handle those. Just making sure there's no loot or anything that I've missed upstairs. We know there's the archer there waiting for us, shooting the wall for no reason. Apparently he's no match for a two-handed sword. Oh! Kill cams are really good in this game. I may actually download a mod to improve them. That's our gnawed bow. The gnawed bows tend to have a slightly higher damage, but are much heavier. Personally, I don't really like having the heavy bows that much. If you're not an archer class, like killing things in the first hit, I don't like having the extra weight for almost no noticeable damage increase. As you can guess, it's getting a little bit serious. And here's the golden claw that I mentioned before. This is the door that we require the claw for. As you can see in a moment when I click on it, there's a couple of items there, a couple of icons, sorry, in the middle of it. So you just follow the order there and enter those in the door. So it looks like a bear, a moth, and then a owl at the bottom. So you just want to transfer those across to the markings on the door. When you notice in the time it took me to look away from there to the door, I've messed up the order. Hopefully you'll be able to get this first time. That's me realised the error of my ways, just sneakily fixing it. Hoping no one's noticed. Obviously the ancient Nords had some very good locksmiths. I find it strange that the technology from forgotten civilizations to surpass the current one, but let's roll with it. Here we are in the back cave. Just having a little look around. Some empty coffins. Nothing too serious. Look. I know something's gone down, so I'm just saving it. Oh, back cave. So I'm just saving it before anything happens. Pretty confident that we're not really going to die in any of these encounters, but what can I say? I like to save a lot. I know there's a very strong enemy coming up, so I'm just trying to see what potions I got, if I'll need them. Apply any poisons that I'm able to apply. Here we could also use the scroll that we picked up earlier, the fire scroll. I tend to be a holder, so I tend to be one of those players that never uses their potions and ends up finishing the game with almost every potion they started with. Saving stuff in case I need it, never using it when you actually do need it. You'll want to make sure you pick up that word of power, but you can't really miss it, to be honest. It's me just checking on my spells, making sure I've got everything ready for the next encounter. Here we go. Overlords are very strong boss mobs. As you can see, he has dragon shoots, but that is me activating my orc ratio, which means I take half damage and deal 1.5 times regular damage. So it makes pretty much short work of this boss. Unexpectedly so. I wasn't expecting him to go down this easy. May increase the difficulty just to see if I can make the mobs more of a challenge, maybe have a little bit of a tactical play. I'm not sure how much you can do in a game where you press your left mouse click to swing in people's faces, but hopefully if I increase the difficulty it might add a little bit of challenge or some sneakiness to the game. Hopefully anyone that views the video will be able to enlighten me with any cool builds I could use when I increase the difficulty, without changing my class to like a caster or some sort of sneaky character or anything like that. This is me just debating whether or not any of these items are worth taking. Obviously iron greatswords are a source of much heated debate in my Twitch stream, whether it's worth taking them or not. And that's the Bleak barrow actually completed, so we're just going to walk up to the exit here. All you have to do is activate the handle, which will release the door, and then that's us free to go. There is a little altar on the way out, which we'll just pass in a wee second. So we're just coming up here. Don't be like me and forget to level up your skills. Make sure you do that. So you want to loot the potion, There's a couple of flowers here. I'm not quite sure which potions they go into, but I'm just going to take them anyway. Hopefully level up my alchemy a little bit with them. And that's us on our way to Skyrim. Currently I'm using the warrior stone on this chat. I've just seen that stone loading screen there. I believe the first stone you come to allows you to choose warrior, thief or mage skills to level up faster. I've chosen warrior on this account. This is just showing the next location for their quest is to go back to Riverwood and bring Look in the Claw. It's highlighted on a minimap, so there shouldn't be anything too difficult. Personally, I'm a fan of just jumping down the cliff rather than finding the safe way down. I was a little bit surprised to find a half-mutilated corpse lying in the middle of the ground, but with no apparent explanation about why it's there. Hopefully someone in the chat can enlighten me. The next bit's generally just me faffing around on my way back to the town, so feel free to increase the play speed. I won't be offended if you're bowled by my dulcet tones. I'm just gathering some more materials from professions. I think that's the only ore vein on the way there, but we generally just have to walk in a straight line, cross a river, follow the path, and we'll be there. So feel free to hang around for a minute or two or fast forward ahead. I probably shouldn't condone animal cruelty, but it's only a game and I want to level up my archery skill, so in real life I do not condone shooting foxes with bows and arrows for fun. Yep, we're just following the quest marker here, nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, just making sure we pick up anything we pass by to try and help us scale up our professions. I believe there's a couple of clay veins on the ground, but that's not something I'm interested at this point in the game. We'll look into that later. There is fish in that in the river if you want to collect them to eat. Personally, I'm only interested in the recipes that help me regenerate stamina, so I'm specifically looking for the items that are part of them. Everything else I'm not really interested in, it's just excess weight. I tried to engage in conversation with this hunter here, however I've just realised that my follower has actually managed to somehow get in combat with a wolf that I didn't know about, currently blocking me from contact with the hunter, as she's terrified that there's a wolf attacking. So obviously I have to go back and help him. Either we all go home or nobody goes home. Eventually when I find him, we'll be able to kill that wolf, which actually dies relatively easily. Just making sure I collect everything, checking to make sure there's no mushrooms or anything like that I've missed. Obviously I love the mace, so I can't be getting rid of that. Hopefully I'll have some very cool items later on in the game. They might not be the most entertaining to play, the melee classes, but they definitely have the coolest items. Through this playthrough I'm probably going to avoid anything affiliated with like thief or rogue classes, so I'll probably try and do my best to avoid robbing people and stealing things and stuff like that. So far in the game I haven't stolen anything, so through this playthrough I'll try and avoid doing anything like that. I'm not really one for role playing heavily, but personally I don't really know the backstory of the orcs that well, so I'm just going to try and play through as like a stoic warrior type class with a penchant for two-handed weapons. Here's the stones I was talking about earlier. Those you can access. The guardian stones you'll see them on the path. On your way to the first village of Riverwood, you'll pass by them, so don't worry about missing them. They're almost impossible to miss, it's the way the game's set up. So we're just following the same path we followed at the start of the game, right the way back to Riverwood. Nothing too difficult here. Hopefully the walking music is making this almost bearable. Again, wolves will not leave us alone. However, nothing too serious to worry about here, so a couple of swings of the sword and that's them done. I feel in future videos I'll try and upgrade the difficulty, maybe make it more enticing to watch, because I'm getting my ass kicked more often. Nothing really. Oh well, there's a couple of thistles on the way, so being Scottish, definitely want to be picking them up. It is a national flower. I apologise for the spam in the bottom corner there. Just having again, this is my Twitch stream. I've just uploaded it to YouTube with a separate audio commentary over the top. Sorry, when I say spam I mean me flashing my phone and things. This is back in Riverwood. We're handing the quest in to the Riverwood Trader, which is shown on the marked on the map here. And we've arrived! Success! We're finally back after that epic adventure. Obviously Lucan's about to lose his mind. You never know life could be so good. We've saved the day. One quest down, a couple million left to go. That concludes our first video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave any feedback, and until next time, stay safe.